Hi everybody. Let me tell you a story of a MNC manager. MBA, Premier B School, 10 years experience in the corporate sector, a decently successful middle level manager working in a company. Got dissatisfied, wanted to change around. A startup consultant approached him, offered him a job which was 50% more than his existing salary plus stock options. Okay? Required a location change from Mumbai to Delhi. Person takes up the job offer. 6 months later, he buys a bigger car. He sells off his old car, buys a bigger car, takes a loan. Another 6 months later, he sells off his house and trades it in for a bigger house. 1 year later, he is laid off because of the funding winter that the startups are going through right now. There are thousands of people like this who have got laid offs from startups like Paytm, like Khata Book, like Just Money, like Coinbase, the crypto freeze. You got Byju's over here. Plenty of startups which were running fundamentally risky models have seen a large number of their employees which have got laid off. IT industry is facing a lot of challenges right now. They are seeing a lot of companies, a lot of middle-level managers are getting laid off in these companies, and many of these middle-level managers are unemployable. They don't want to go back into salaries which are 50% lower than what they what they were getting earlier, and they've also locked themselves into a lifestyle which is no longer sustainable. If you are one of those people, we would like to recommend to you 5 steps that you can take to make sure that you are able to benefit from this startup transition. All right. Okay, let's look at the first one. Before we do that, my name is Maneesh Konkar. I am a corporate consultant. We are also digital marketeers, and on this channel, we give you success tips, marketing tips, and stuff on leadership. All right. Okay, so let's start. So the first thing to remember is that startups are inherently risky. Okay, how when a venture capitalist puts in money into a startup, it's important to understand how does the VC hope to make money from the startup. So their standard model is that if they invest in 10 startups, they assume that within the next 2 to 5 years, about 6 out of the 10 are going to go bankrupt. They will not even return the money that has been invested in them. Another 3 will return exactly the amount of money that was invested in them, but they hope that the 10th company will become a Facebook. Like you put in $500,000 and it grows 10x or 20x or 100x or 1000x or so. Okay. Now, most of us get very carried away by these Facebook millionaire stories and all. But let's remember that the probability of that happening is very small. And yes, it does happen. And it happens quite a lot in the tech sector, but it's a risk, and therefore to understand that risk, it's important to understand what we can do to minimize that risk. All right. So the first point to remember is that that please don't change your lifestyle whenever you join a startup. Okay. Use the startup's money that you are getting to prepay your home loan, to prepay your car loan, and reduce your monthly outstandings. A lot of us are increasing our monthly outstandings, and that's what makes us dependent on the job. Okay? So if the company offers you a sign-on bonus, use the sign-on bonus and bring down your monthly EMI for your home loan or your car loan. Maybe you might celebrate with a foreign holiday or something, but don't blow up that entire money. Okay. So the first point that we are talking about, and I wrote a LinkedIn post on this sometime back. So those of you who are more who are also active on LinkedIn, do follow me, Maneesh Konkar, on LinkedIn, and you'll get a lot of inputs like these. So the first point is to remember that you do not have to upgrade your lifestyle. Try to control your lifestyle and maintain that. Okay. The second point is, if it's a location change, do not displace your spouse or your kids initially. You might want to check out how the startup is behaving over the next 6 months to 2 years, and after a couple of years is when you can displace bring your wife along or bring your kids along. Otherwise, let the old style continue. Yes, it does result in a higher rental expense for you, but the risk is what you are taking. Nobody asked you to take that risk. Okay, that's the point. There's no need to displace the family initially, at least. Okay. All right. Third point is, don't burn bridges with your old employer. Many of these startups may shut down. And in India, we are now experiencing a cycle. I mean, till now it was boom, 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 boom. But now suddenly after 2021-22, there is a little bust that's coming along. So whenever you are moving out of your current organization, maintain relationships with your boss, maintain relationships with your skip level boss. Also maintain relationships with your head of HR. You never know you're going to need these people to give you a job again. All right, that's the single biggest selfish reason for you to stay in good books of your previous employers. All right. The fourth point we're talking about is the kind of role that you will perform in a startup. Okay. Now, working in a startup is very different from working in an established company. In an established company, you got processes. You are running those processes which have been fine-tuned over many years. So if you join a Coke or a Pepsi or a Unilever, they have strict processes on how work needs to be done. Startups have no such processes. So the skill required is slightly different. The skill required in a startup is not to work within processes, it is to design and implement processes which other people will work on. Those are the kind of things that are required in terms of a skill set. If you have those skill sets, you will do well in a startup. But if you don't have those skill sets or are not comfortable working in an environment where there is no structure, okay, and that can be a very chaotic environment, then perhaps startups are not for you. All right. The last point that we are talking about is let's say, how do startups work and what can you do to do well in a startup? Well, startups don't have any long-term plans. Okay? When a VC, why is because of the way the venture capital comes into the company. Now, suppose a company raises a $10 million round. In the next round, it will raise, let's say, 50 million. Now, it doesn't mean that it can sit on that 50 million. It has to spend that $50 million in the next 6 months to a year, max 18 months. Now, the point is, therefore, what is that 6 months, 1 year to be used for? Now, you might feel that the company should go in this direction, it should not go in this direction. But the point is, the investor wants it to go in this direction, the founder of the company wants it to go in this direction. For example, if they are focused on number of transactions and you're the kind of person who is focusing on the value of the transaction, then you're basically at war with the strategy of the company. Okay? Don't fight these battles. It never works. There is no point in questioning the strategy of the company. If their vision is 6 months, you follow a vision of 6 months. If they want transactions, you focus your energies on getting more transactions into the picture. Of course, do it ethically and legally, because there are a lot of these malpractices and corporate governance issues that are also coming out in various startups. All right. So this was our video, okay, which brings us to the end of what we are covering here. Our basic point here is startups are risky. They can, however, be great in terms of wealth creation and, of course, in terms of the experience that you will get. The cultures are completely different from a larger, more established company. So go ahead and enjoy your career growth, but just make sure that we manage the risk associated with it. I'm Maneesh Konkar. If you've come till here, thanks a lot. Do subscribe to the channel by clicking on the subscribe button and the notifications icon, and follow me on LinkedIn. Check out our courses. We have a lot of courses on sales, marketing and success on our direction1.org website, and I will see you in the next video. Okay, thank you.